Welcome back, Cardinal fans. We're live here at Conrads Restaurant and Ale House. Eat, drink local. I'm joined now by head men's basketball coach Chris McCabe. Chris, how are you doing?
Doing well, Chase. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you up here again. So we started off the season a little slower than you would have liked to have liked, or maybe you expected. But I've also played some very good competition. Washburn is always good, and Emporia State is nationally ranked. UND is receiving votes in the national polls. You know, what is the message to the team when you play those really tough opponents and don't come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, an important point is the quality of the opponent. But it's November. In Indy's case, it was December. But if we're going to be really good and make some special memories and stuff, that's usually February and March. And we've got to just withstand and have different experiences that go on early in the season to kind of see maybe where some warts are that we need to get fixed, or some things that we maybe won't even consider in the preseason and off-season of what we need to do to be better. And those opponents you mentioned, Washburn, Emporia, and Indy we get to see again, but the other ones, I mean, they did things that made us have to adjust what maybe we wouldn't have against lesser competition. So we've got good support as far as understanding, being 4-6 or being 6-4 is different in the record, but the experience of where it sets us for where we want to go is very different.
I'd be interested to see if where our strength of schedule is compared to the rest of the conference and throughout the two.
Well, I saw something come out the other day that said the GLBC is the fourth-rated conference in the country through the master ratings, and I think that's very, very accurate. MIAA is number one. We were honorary members for a while, playing Washburn, playing Emporia. So we're playing the number one conference. Our conference is the fourth best. So I think that speaks to the quality of competition.
And it's clearly something you do on purpose. Talk us through that thought process on scheduling those games.
Well, I mean, if you ask right now who the national champion was last year in Division One, everybody can say it's Kansas. If you ask it's Division Two, it's Northwest. If you also follow up with those people and you say, what was their record on December 5th or 6th, they're going to have no idea. But they're going to know that the end result was the championship. And so, you can't do it every year, but we thought we know we had a group that could go through, and they want those challenges. They want those experiences. I mean, going on the road at Washburn for their first home game, Indies was the first conference game. There's a different feel in those gyms, and that's what small college basketball is about.
So I think I'm going to stir up some controversy here. Two of the best three-point shooters ever to come through the program on the same roster for the third straight season, Mason Alexander, recently moved into the top 4 all-time three-point field goals. George Romaine is now top 15. Having multiple threats from long range is hard for opponents to guard, even when they know they're coming. What does it look like other teams are doing to help combat that offense?
Well, yeah, that's something we've got to constantly stay ahead of because we know that they're going to be there. So it's been different. One opponent, it's switch and use length. Another opponent, it's be super physical and don't separate from it. So they've seen different styles. And then where we have to be better is not throwing out the scheme, but it's being better within the scheme. And so you have to get different looks at practice. You have to replicate different things. And so, for example, we practiced in between Indy and Lewis, and on Friday we had a really purposeful 45 minutes on the floor at Lewis, where it was a really intense practice for 45 minutes, but it was really purposeful because we anticipated what we would see. And then the other thing that the guys always have to try to stay a step ahead of is you're putting stuff on film. And so whatever you put on film on any given game, somebody else is going to see. And that could influence a game plan against you. And so if we show we can't handle certain things, we're probably going to see more of it. If we are successful, then we will anticipate probably not seeing as much. But that's where we got to stay one step ahead.
So those are two guys with a lot of minutes under their belts now. Let's talk about some young guys, and in particular, sophomore Isaac Patterson and redshirt freshman Eli Winger. These two guys have been critical to your team in the last few games, both averaging nearly 10 points a game off the bench, and Isaac is shooting 78% from three. And you really emphasize that the bench guys have an important role both in practice and come game time. These two seem to have really embraced that role.
It's been great recently. they got off to a rocky start, but part of that was my own doing. I had some expectations about how I wanted them to perform and what they were up to, and I was being hard on them, and I don't think that helped them perform better. And so we were able to just get a little bit better of an understanding, get some more experience under the belt. And then, unfortunately, the reality about it is with Trey's injury, Trey being down for a little while now, Isaac had to step up. And just like a lot of times what happens, right, is you don't know what somebody's capable of until the opportunity presents itself. And so Isaac's opportunity presented itself different than maybe it did earlier in the season. And I think that allowed him to play a little freer, a little easier, and allow his skill to shine. And then Eli is just phenomenal. Phenomenal athlete, really runs, really moves, understands the game, thinks the game. Those are two of our smarter players. IQ-wise, understanding where guys on the floor should be, shouldn't be. So we like those two being pieces of the league.
Rockhurst Saturday, which means we've got the Kansas City Crown on Saturday, a rivalry that's over a century old, with the first basketball game dating back to 1918 between the Cardinals and the Hawks. What has the traveling trophy competition had to an already tradition-rich rivalry?
Well, I mean, it's amazing because we've played those guys now since I've been here now. It was 6 times, 7, and every game we play is just an absolute. I mean, it's a rock fight. You know, I mean, it's so physical and aggressive. And the teams know each other. We play, we see each other on the crossover at the beginning of the year, so we're actually seeing the opponent in person, which you don't usually see. You usually see them on tape, so you got some familiarity. They recruit some of the same players. They recruit a couple guys we got. So it's a rivalry in its true sense, right? And then you add the additional qualities of having maybe something tangibly from a standpoint being able to play for it. I think that's fun for a lot of people who maybe were on the periphery of it. For our guys, it doesn't change much, but hopefully it garners some excitement from some people. And, it'll be a huge game. Rock's playing with 2-1 in the league. We're at 2-2. And so for them, if they can get it, go 3-1 for us, we go 3-2. They'll get 2 losses. It puts us in a really good position. So the guys are excited. We're excited. And it'll certainly be a high-quality game.
So, fan question for you, the Navy Center William Jewell, known for its basketball, known for volleyball, also known for great hot dogs. Coach, is a hot dog, help us settle this, is a hot dog a sandwich?
All right, now hold on a second. There's been a lot of conversation about hot dogs at Navy Center the last couple of weeks, right? Holiday Classics coming up. So we got to make sure we got the hot dogs stocked. All beef. All beef. I heard Sam's Club hot dogs. So shout out to Sam's Club, hopefully future sponsor. But the hot dogs are top end. And so I know Mr. Malcolm's working hard to make sure it's stocked. And then it'll be stocked for our game on Saturday with the big crowd. It'll be stocked for the Holiday Classic when we get 24 high school teams coming to play over right after Christmas. So I did a really good job of avoiding your question and answering it by talking about all the other stuff.
So give it to us once and for all. Is it a sandwich?
No.
You heard it. Hot dogs on a sandwich. That's Coach Chris McCabe, head men's basketball coach at William Jewell College. We are the Cardinals live at Conrads Restaurant and Ale House. Eat, drink, local.